Hey everyone, my name's Zachary Leclerc and I'm running for president in this year's UMSU election. I'm running under the banner Zach for Prez as an independent candidate because I don't believe in the slate system, and so how can I let myself win on a slate if I want to change that? Running independently, hoping for a mixed team next year to prove that we don't need slates to have an effective and representative student union that can make a difference and achieve things. So this video is my review of Strong UMSU's policy. I don't know if you caught any of my other videos, but I've decided since I'm running independently and I'm going to inevitably have a mixed team next year coming from somewhere, that I want to show you all that I'm taking the time to read the policy everyone's putting forward and perhaps asking the tough questions that maybe not everyone's thinking to ask. So this is the good, the bad, the truth of Strong UMSU from me. I'm going to start with the bad here. What I think is the bad, anyways. Executive reduction in salary. That is an interesting thought, and it's a very good campaign point to get votes, that's for sure. The fact of the matter is the executive salary is barely a livable wage. It's definitely easy to lay claims that you'll reduce the salary if you live with your parents or you have the means to do that, but not all students have the means to do this job without an appropriate salary, and all students should be able to do this job. For that reason, an executive salary reduction is a terrible notion. Frankly, I think it should be increased, but I have no intention of campaigning on that this year, to tell you the truth. And so that's my thought on the executive salary, and I'm sure a lot of other students agree. We need to reduce the barriers to get students involved and in office, not increase the barriers. But hey, if an executive is willing to donate their salary, I have nothing against that. If an executive knows they don't need the money, why not? I'd be happy to allow that. The other thing I have an issue with from them is a mobile app. Is that just like a new trend nowadays? Everyone needs an app. Our website is mobile friendly, which means everything you can do on the website, you can do on your phone, no problem. The only reason why you need an app is if you have a very specific function. And to build a native app, and what that means is an app for a separate device, unique for a device, you're looking at $20,000 to $100,000 depending on what kind of functionality you want with it. That's something they're not telling you. That's something you need to ask. How are we going to pay for this? What do you want it to be? If we're just essentially copying what's already on the website into an app, that's not needed. Our website is mobile friendly. The UMSU businesses, changing the UMSU businesses, making them services. I addressed this already with Take Back. Once again, I'm just going to reaffirm, we hire managers for a reason. We're not experienced enough and informed enough to run the businesses ourselves. Let the managers do their job. We need our businesses to be ran as businesses. If we have a profit generated from the businesses in the year, then what we need is policy and a system in place so that revenue generated goes into our endowment fund, goes into a pot for businesses to dip in if they have a bad year, and go into just a general reserve fund for the union in case, who knows, maybe admin decides one day they're going to withhold our fees, and so we got to operate on our own, or there's something going on. You know, that's what we should be doing with our businesses, not changing them, not dictating to managers what to do. We're supposed to bring suggestions to managers that the students are having trouble with. We're not the managers. We hire them for a reason. The UMSU Health and Dental Plan. I already said this with UMSU for You. If you want more coverage, different things coverage, it's going to increase in price. If you want to save money, you're going to decrease the coverage. It's as simple as that. There's nothing that can be changed with it. We've basically reached a plateau in how much usage is happening. So aside from inflation, hopefully we don't see any more increases, but it's 100% based on what kind of coverage you want. That's all we can do. We can't negotiate a better rate than that. Lastly, bring back outdoor frosh. Once again, buzzword, classy kind of word to use. My colleague running on Strong UMSU in the same position was in office this year. He should know exactly why it wasn't outdoors. It's because that space isn't available right now. It's under renovations for the Canada Games that we'll be hosting in, I believe it's 2018, right? We're not allowed to use that space. They want it to be taken care of. There's no other outdoor space available on campus. One possible solution is partnering with administration to build an outdoor venue on the Southwood development, and we can use that for outdoor convocations and everything. But that's not in place yet, and to just have an event outdoors there isn't safe yet either. So those are things that I have problems with in their policy. That being said, they have definitely got a few good ideas. I like their idea of a bike share program. I think UMSU Forward is talking a little bit about that too. I like their idea of a sexual assault support center. I believe UMSU for You also suggested a I believe UMSU for You suggested a similar idea, but more broad scope. I like the idea of these. Fact of the matter is, once again, they're not informing you of the costs. Where are we going to put this? How are we going to fund it? What budget lines are it going to come from? With the motion that passed in November, we have a fee for student service groups, and that levy is, I believe it's $2.50 if I remember correctly. It might be $2. That fee is going to have to go up if we're adding another service center, because we got to pay for a coordinator and we got to give them a budget for the year. And it has to be the same as every other service center that UMSU operates. Otherwise, it wouldn't be fair. So that's problem number one. Problem number two is where. We have the Manitoban space now that Manitobans move, but I don't think a center like this should be right in the middle of University Center where everyone can see who's coming in. These are potentially victimized individuals who don't want the spotlight on them, don't want people to know they're going in there and what they might be going in there for. So we need to find other space. That's going to cost money to acquire and to look for that space, or we will rejig the student group spacing and put it somewhere there, and there might be fewer student group rooms. Those are kind of two options that I see. No matter what, there's going to be money or some disappointed student groups. I love their idea for meditation and relaxation spaces. I think that's a good idea for the Manitoban space, at least as a test ground, see how people like it, pilot it out, and if it works, we'll keep going. More blue code stations, agreed. I think we also need to improve security cameras on campus. There definitely are not enough of them, and if something happens and it's not caught on camera, it's really difficult to prove your case or maybe to track people down if property is damaged. I like the student group gala idea. That's a really good idea. Maybe incorporate a award ceremony or something into that. I really, really like that idea. We need to celebrate our student groups and give them a platform to celebrate the year they had, right? Lastly, free legal aid. I think it's a decent idea. I think it's going to cost the union a lot of money in the long run, so we really got to set some proper policy on that, and that's something they haven't done. It's just a broad term. Hey, students, you'll get free legal aid if you vote for us. There's no way that's all that there is, and I encourage you all to ask the strong UMSU candidates what they intend free legal aid to be. I could see something for, say, international students for having issues with their visas or other forms when they're in the country. I could see something with housing when they're having tenant-landlord issues and us assisting students in that way. But beyond that, free legal aid for all, it's a tough one for me to swallow, that's for sure. So now for some truth. Scholarship increasing scholarships. Right now, the way the scholarship system works is the province and the federal government put some money into our endowment for us, and UMSU has kind of a levy off of students within the UMSU fee layout. So it's in there that students are paying. You know what? The only way we can technically increase that is if we increase the levy. I mean, you can decide that you're going to pull money out of the operating budget and put it in, but then what services will be lost if you do that? The only way we can increase what's going into the scholarship is perhaps seek external donations, improve external donations to it, or increase the student levy. And once again, these are questions you got to be asking those representatives. More funds for student groups in space. I touched upon this in another video, but it's essentially the same thing. Levy increase or rejigging the operation budget, and we're going to lose something else. Just about everything, the majority of these other slates and candidates are putting forward involve changing where our money's coming from or how much money we're getting from students. I encourage you to check out my policy. All of my policy points, as far as I can tell since I wrote them, have no need for increasing fees anywhere. Lastly, revamp UMSU. Well, they don't really tell us how. They just say it's needed because people don't know. I agree. Students don't know enough about UMSU. We need to work on that. I have a tangible plan for that. I want to increase our volunteer program, have street teams, make our volunteer program be something people are proud to be a volunteer in, and encourage them to volunteer year after year and expand upon it, and use those to reach out to students, find out what students want from UMSU and UMSU is doing for them, and increase the word. So that's everything I've got to say about Strong UMSU. I hope you take my video with a grain of salt and get educated yourself before you vote on March 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. This is a really important election for me and everyone else involved in it, and it takes voters like you who take the time to find out the issues and ask the right questions before you vote, and not just get escorted to the polling station. So if you want to know more about my policy and my platform, please check out my website, www.zachforpres.ca. That's ZACHFORPRES.ca. I've got all my policy on there. It's very easy to view. If you need accessible policy, there's a button at the top and it'll download my accessible document version. I also have information about the elections these last 2 weeks in the media, more information on all the slates on my website, and a little bit about me and why I think I'm fit to be your president. It's not just the ideas, but it's my experience on this campus and what I bring to the table. So thanks for listening, and I'll catch you again on my next video.